Look at that, the leather is still intact, but the person who wore them is gone. It's like a ghost is standing right here.
Incredible. The silk is almost gone, but the diamonds, they look like they were bought yesterday. This belonged to a stoker or an engineer, probably held his wages or letters from home. It's solid as stone now. A telescope, maybe one of the lookouts? Or a passenger watching the ice? It didn't help them see the iceberg in time.
The sea has claimed the person, but it left the shoe. It's like a footprint of someone who just vanished.
A 100 years old, still sealed. This was the luxury of the era. Now it's just trash at the bottom of the world.
She must have let this in the rush. Diamonds and pearls, buried under 3 miles of ocean.
There's an inscription, always. This person never made it to the lifeboats. They died right here, waiting for a dinner that never finished.
This was someone's most prized possession, a symbol of hope that failed them.
Imagine the secrets in here. Jewelry, deeds, maybe even a diary. It's been locked for 114 years. Even the tobacco is still dry inside there. A century of being underwater, and it's perfectly preserved. Titanic's china. There are thousands of these out here. Each one represents a person who sat down for a meal they never finished. The sea has claimed the person, but it left the shoe. It's like a footprint of someone who just vanished. JJA, could it be? John Jacob Astor? The richest man on the ship. Even all his money couldn't save him from this. He died with his faith. In the end, that's all he had left. A bell that warned them. 3 rings for danger. But it was already too late.
The last desperate move. Full astern, but the ship couldn't stop in time.
They were coming for a new life. A whole wardrobe for a future that never happened.
The sea eats everything. Metal, bone, wood. Nothing is safe down here.
Someone left these here as they ran for their lives. Or maybe they were just left behind in the panic.
The men who tried to keep order. Now their symbols of authority are just rust.
Time stopped here. Everything since then has just been the ocean taking it back.
The stories are lost. Every book, every letter, just gone.
They were cooking for 2,200 people. The last meal was never served.
The heart of the ship. It stopped beating 114 years ago.
The engineers never left. They stayed to keep the power on as long as possible. Heroes in the dark.
5 minutes left. They knew. They must have known.
She's still beautiful, in a terrible, tragic way. A monument to human pride and the power of the sea.
There's so much more. We've only scratched the surface.
The last story. Maybe this one survived.
The destruction here is absolute. It looks like an explosion happened from the inside out. I can see deep into the lower decks from here.
This is where the heavy cargo was stored. The Renault car, the Egyptian artifacts. Hey, it's all down here somewhere.
These were meant for a mansion in New York. Now they decorate the seabed. It's amazing how the colors survive when the wood doesn't. The ship literally burst when it hit the bottom. The force was enough to liquefy the mud.
This was a ring once. The gold is gone, eaten by the sea, but the diamond...
Time literally stopped for the Titanic. We're looking at a world that ended at 2:20 a.m., April 15, 1912.
You never get used to this. Every corner of this ship is a grave. This man was probably a stoker, trapped when the bulkheads closed.
They were shoveling coal until the water hit them. The thermal shock must have been incredible.
A day's wages for a man who didn't live to spend it. The ocean is the ultimate thief.
The engineers were still turning these when the ship went vertical. Imagine the noise, the steam, the screaming metal.
Everything is frozen in the middle of a task. Coffee that was never poured. Dinner that was never eaten.
The luxury didn't end until the very last second. Imagine the men in here, drinking brandy as the ship tilted. The linens for the voyage. They'll never be used.
They were watching the stars, then the iceberg, then the end. These glasses saw it all.
The records of the ship. All the secrets are here, locked away by the pressure.
The silver has tarnished, but it still reflects. Imagine the person who last looked in this.
The ship is a tomb. We can never forget that.
It's like someone is about to get ready for dinner. The time is frozen.
She never left her room. Maybe she was sleeping, or maybe she was too afraid to go out. Now she's part of the ship forever.
Even in the end, they were trying to maintain a normal life. Tea at 12,000 feet. The music of the Titanic. It's the only sound left.
He was working until the very end. This ship is full of unsung heroes. 10 minutes left. The water was already up to his knees.
Another whistle. They were calling for help, but no one could hear them through the 3 miles of water.
The last messages of the ship were typed here. SOS! SOS! We are sinking!
He was the radio operator. He stayed until the very end to save everyone else. 2 minutes left. The ship was almost gone.
The power of the ship. It's all gone now.
The scale is massive. It's like a factory underwater. A tool from the ship itself. It's a piece of history in my hand.
They were trapped here. The engineers, they never had a chance. The final second, the ship went under, and so did they.
They died together. In the dark, in the cold. But they weren't alone.
Thousands of meals were served here. Now it's a banquet for the fish.
I have to get back. My air is running low. A child's locket. This is the real tragedy.
The ship was crushed as it fell. The sound must have been like 1,000 thunderclaps.
Another fortune lost. This ship is paved with diamonds and gold.
A woman's luggage. She was coming for a new life, but she only found a grave.
They were watching the iceberg from here. Now we're watching them. The richest man on the ship. Even his money couldn't buy him a way out.
The last meal was prepared here. Roast duck, lamb, salmon. All for people who would never eat it.
He was working until the very end. This ship is full of unsung heroes.
The last messages of the ship were typed here. SOS.
He was the radio operator. He stayed until the very end to save everyone else. 2 minutes left. The ship was almost gone.
The power of the ship. It's all gone now.
They were trapped here.
The engineers,
They never had a chance. The final second, the ship went under, and so did they.
They died together. In the dark, in the cold. But they weren't alone.
The ship was crushed as it fell. The sound must have been like 1,000 thunderclaps. Even the strongest steel couldn't withstand the ocean.
She's a graveyard, but she's also a museum. We have to keep her memory alive. The wealth of a world that's...
The scale is massive. It's like a factory underwater, a tool from the ship itself. It's a piece of history in my hand. A child's locket. This is the real tragedy of the Titanic. The lives that were cut short. The rudder is locked in its final position. They were trying to turn until the very end, even as the stern settled into the mud.
This watch belonged to someone down here in the dark. It stopped at 2:18 a.m. That's just 2 minutes before.
This trunk has survived the journey to the bottom. Let's see what's left inside. He was probably trying to save the cargo, or maybe just hiding from the chaos above. Now he's a permanent part of the ship's history. This door hasn't been opened since 1912. The air inside might still be from the surface.
Someone was packed and ready to leave. They never got the chance.
She's a graveyard, but she's also a museum. We have to keep her memory alive. The wealth of a world that's gone.
This isn't the purser's safe, but it belonged to someone wealthy. Look at the gold bars spilled into the mud. The desperation in those final minutes. People were hiding anywhere they could.
But look at these leather bags. This is the lost treasure of the Titanic. It's been sitting here for over a century, waiting.
I've seen enough. This ship is a graveyard of dreams and gold.
The ocean is slowly claiming what's left. In another 50 years, there won't be much to see.
It's time to go. The pressure is getting to me.
Goodbye, Titanic.
Your secrets are sea.
This once lit up the first class lounge. Now it only catches my torchlight.
This lead to the crew's quarters. The wood is soft as sponge. A crewman's last possession. Maybe he played this to keep his spirits up.
A final toast that was never finished. The elegance of the Gilded Age, preserved in a watery grave.
The purser's office. This is where the real treasures were stored for safekeeping.
This is the one. The legendary safe. If we can get it open, we might find the jewelry.
The scale of the service on this ship was incredible. Thousands of plates, never used.
WM, maybe a waiter or a steward. This was likely his most valuable possession.
The engineers never left their posts. They died trying to save the ship.
This was an officer. He stayed in the dark, miles below the surface.
This is what turned the ship. The sheer force required must have been immense.
This is a royal ring. Look at the crest. Someone very important was down here. The debris field is where the real stories are. Thousands of items. This one didn't survive the fall. Let's see what was worth saving.
I'm almost out of time. My oxygen is low. The king of the wreck. He's the only one who owns the Titanic now.
The power that drove the Titanic. Now it's just a graveyard of machinery.
A gun in the steering room? Maybe they were defending the ship from the inside.
It's not the heart of the ocean, but it's real. This belonged to a woman.
This is the purser's safe. The one they said was lost forever. Look at the size of it.
The door is buckled. The pressure must have tried to crush it.
Diamonds. Hundreds of them. This is millions of dollars.
His family. This is why he fought so hard to survive. It's heartbreaking.
100 years of history, buried under 3 miles of ocean. It never gets old. A souvenir.
The ocean is full of life, even here. It's beautiful and terrifying.
Still a long way to go. The pressure is dropping, but the cold is still here.
The midnight zone is gone. We're in the bath of pelagic now. For the fans, a piece of the legend. They know we're back. They're happy to see us.
I can see the ship. The research vessel is right above us. Just in time. My air is at 5%. We're coming home with the...
Look at the size of this. This was for a grand banquet. The shark is gone. Let's finish this. The key to the captain's secrets. I wonder what he kept hidden.
The surface is so far away. This coin could tell 1,000 stories.
It's like being in outer space. No sound, no light, just the abyss. These stones have...
The sun is coming up. A new day for the Titanic's treasure. We did it. KPDD is back from the abyss. Until next time, Titanic, rest in peace.
We're home! We have the safe!